Seokjin was stunned after entering the living room of Kim's mansion. He couldn't move properly as his breath stopped reciprocating with him. He is trembling violently. The woman sitting on the couch was Mrs. Kim. Wrinkles face but still too gorgeous for Seokjin. He sobbed and ran later, kneeling down on the ground trying to reassure this isn't a dream. This isn't any hallucinations but reality. Taehyung returns holding Jungkook's waist like his most precious treasure. Indeed he is. Jungkook is complaining about the chips he is eating right now. Taehyung stopped near the pillar while Jungkook looked at him. Then he heard something. The voice is so familiar, almost like Seokjin. He looks at the scene where Seokjin is crying, burying his face on the old woman's lap who is ruffling his hair tenderly. He then glanced at Taehyung. Taehyung didn't say anything, just look at the scene for a brief second and leave from there, almost dragging Jungkook. Once they are in the room, Jungkook pecks Taehyung's cheeks and lays on the bed. Taehyung pulled him holding his hand while Jungkook shook his head and again lay down. Let me take a rest. I am so tired. What kind of husband do I have? Jungkook asked and lay on the right side. Taehyung sighs at his dramatic antique piece. You have to freshen up. You were sleeping all the way. How can you feel so tired? Taehyung asked while taking out a VR box and heading towards the bed where his dear husband is laying down comfortably. Hubby, you should say my lovely Kookie, my baby Koo, my sweetheart, my aim, or you should sleep for more time. Then we will watch a movie. Then we will make love and then we will cuddle pie at KUROD for the rest of time. Jungkook said and scoffed dramatically while Taehyung sat and pulled Jungkook by his hands. Sit straight, my lovely Kookie, my baby Koo, my sweetheart, my Amor. I have something to show you. Taehyung mimics Jungkook, then brings the VR box and adjusts it in Jungkook's eyes. After watching the video, Jungkook looked at Taehyung and pouted. He throws the VR box and is ready to start crying, but Taehyung puts one banana milk in his hand and one chocolate in hands. That house is beautiful, but hubby, why are you showing me this? Are you really doing something which I am thinking about? Jungkook asked with somehow scared eyes. He really doesn't want to leave this house. We have to go. Also, don't you want to lead a new life with a new house? Taehyung swiftly diverted Jungkook's mind elsewhere. He caresses Jungkook's cheek softly and looks at him. I want, hubby, but I want it with everyone. And right now we have to console Jinny. He is crying. I also have to greet that auntie. She seems sweet. Jungkook said and held Taehyung's hand, who just sighed and freed himself. Most of the items have been sent off, just our clothes and some accessories. I will pack them. You just take a rest and call me if you need something. Taehyung murmured, taking out a carton box and heading towards the cupboard room. You are in this room only. What can possibly happen to me? Jungkook asked while swaying his legs. He didn't like this distance, so he started walking towards the walk-in cupboard. Jungkook reached and climbed onto the jewelry cabinet without asking permission. Well, he never did seek permission for anything. He sat right on the edge of the glass cabinet, legs swinging back and forth lazily, heels softly tapping the cabinet in a slow rhythm. Hubby, Jungkook called, stretching the word like it was made of honey. And obviously with his doe eyes blinking is cherry on top. Yes, Amor, Taehyung answered but didn't look up while saying. The corner of his lips curved slightly, imagining the sulking face of Jungkook. You said I should rest. But resting alone is boring. Also, I won't stay there without you. Jungkook complained lightly with a pout. He is swinging his legs harder now, almost slamming his heels on the glass. Taehyung walked over, placing the folded clothes aside. He stood between Jungkook's knees. His muscular hands automatically settled on Jungkook's waist, gripping it tightly but harshly. His thumbs rubbing slow circles on the fabrics, but the touch creates some sensation on Jungkook's spine. Taehyung leaned in and kissed his cheek tenderly. Jungkook hummed happily, getting the attention he wanted from his husband. He tilted his head so Taehyung could kiss the other cheek too. And of course Taehyung did that. Then Taehyung kissed on his forehead. Then the tip of his nose. Jungkook giggled, getting those soft pecks around his face. Hubby, if you keep doing that, I won't let you pack. Jungkook whispered slowly, eyes fluttering shut. Taehyung smiled against his skin. That's a threat? Taehyung asked, pecking just under Jungkook's bottom lips. Pecking the place where the alluring mole is decorated. A very dangerous one. Jungkook nodded seriously. Taehyung couldn't help but peck on his lips. He stepped back and brushed his knuckles along Jungkook's jaw before returning to the cupboard. Jungkook watched him like he was watching his favorite movie. His eyes are soft, heart full. Every few minutes, Taehyung would pass by him with clothes in hand, and every single time, he'd steal a kiss. Sometimes on Jungkook's lips, sometimes on his temple. Sometimes just a brief press against his hair. You're distracting me. It's impossible to concentrate on anything when you are sitting in front all dolled up. Taehyung finally said, while Jungkook beamed with happiness. Good. Jungkook smiled widely while Taehyung stopped again, sighing dramatically before cupping Jungkook's face. Your trouble, Taehyung said, circling his arms around Jungkook's waist, pulling him a bit closer. Jungkook also wrapped his legs around Taehyung's torso. But your trouble, Jungkook replied proudly with a wide smile. Taehyung attached his lips with his dramatic husband and kissed him slowly. When he pulled away, Jungkook rested his forehead against Taehyung's chest, fingers clutching the fabric of his shirt. I don't like changes, but if it's you I think it'll be okay. Let's make our home beautiful. Jungkook admitted softly, you won't face any change alone. Your hubby will always be with you. Don't think I will let you suffer. First we will decorate our bedroom then nursery. Taehyung said while Jungkook nodded, legs still wrapped around Taehyung. Are you done packing? Jungkook asked with an aching heart. He knows his hubby is in pain. And not able to help him is eating him slowly. Let's go. Taehyung said to take just the luggage. He doesn't have many belongings as without some private things he sends everything already. Let's go then. Jungkook smiled looking at Taehyung. While Taehyung caresses his hair. They both came to the living room and saw Seokjin hugging Mrs. Kim tightly. He didn't break the hug, just sigh. Without pulling his head up he asked Taehyung. Tell me the truth, tell me everything, Seokjin said with a loud hiccup. He is feeling way too cruel, way too foolish. He hurt Namjoon for something Namjoon never committed. He chose to stay mute with Taehyung for something he had no hands on. How desperately he is cursing himself he also doesn't know. All he knows is he shouldn't stay in this darkness. This darkness swallowed him fully. Your mom isn't dead. Mr. Kim, Namjoon's father, tried to kill her. When Namjoon Hung came, your mom was still breathing. She said only one thing saved you from him. She was in a coma and just 5 months ago she came back. Mr. Kim had suspicions when he didn't find your mom's body. He was searching the whole Korea like crazy. That's why Namjoon Hung thought not to tell you. This is the truth. Just because it comes out from my mouth doesn't mean it's a lie. Taehyung said all those while looking at the floor. He can't look at anyone. And mostly not at Mrs. Kim. He can't face her. I killed your father. Taehyung said the line and then held Jungkook's hand firmly. His grips are tight as if he isn't holding Jungkook. Instead he is holding his own self. How lovely my son-in-law is. Mrs. Kim chuckled slightly and pushed Seokjin from herself. She stands up slowly and comes to Jungkook who is looking like a baby bunny. He is, Taehyung said with a soft voice. The kind of voice he used only in front of Jungkook. You are so pretty, Jungkook said with widened eyes. Mrs. Kim couldn't do anything without admiring her son-in-law. I asked Taehyung thousands of times to let me see you properly but he didn't give me permission. But once I couldn't stop myself. I was feeling like making something for you and letting my grandkids have it. That day I came but it was too late to meet. Mrs. Kim said while ruffling Jungkook's hair. Jungkook smiles softly but his heart is aching. How can he leave this house? Leave these people, his Jinny, his Junee Hyungi. Are you guys going somewhere? Mrs. Kim asked with a warm voice. Yeah, I bought a new house. Taehyung said sharply. What are you talking about? Why are you leaving this Tilda? Seokjin asked almost immediately. During this time they never talked with each other. But Seokjin can't even imagine this house without Taehyung's cold presence. Taehyung, I want my both Tilda. Before Mrs. Kim can say more Taehyung looks straight in her direction with those eyes which broke Mrs. Kim's heart once again. I am the living proof of his infidelity. I am the breathing statement of all the injustice you suffer. I am the living poison bubbling in your throat. Taehyung said with a trembling voice. His trembling hands squeezed Jungkook's soft hand tightly. Jungkook didn't say anything, just kept his head lower. He just feels his stone-like husband is broken now. He wants some rest. A long time for rest so he can at least heal a little bit. Hubby, let's go, Jungkook said softly while tugging Taehyung's shirt. Taehyung glanced at Jungkook with a small smile which is worse than crying. He turned to hold Jungkook's hand and left from there. They are now standing on the entrance of their new house. The house is beautiful, like the mountain villa. Although the mountain villa has everything different still the feeling of true sense of belonging calms his heart. It's pretty, Jungkook said with a smile that feels fake. He did not say wow. Not hubby, this is amazing. Just a pretty word. Taehyung swallowed the saliva hard. Once they were inside, everything smelled new. Fresh paint, new wood, beautiful crystal decorated pieces. No memories attached in this place. No ghosts of past regret. No history of crime. Just space waiting to be filled with everything beautiful. Taehyung kicked the door shut behind them and immediately wrapped his arms around Jungkook from behind. He pressed his face into Jungkook's neck. Jungkook also put his hand on Taehyung's hand. Welcome home, Amor, Taehyung murmured softly, as if he is reassuring Jungkook to give a real home. At least he can try. Jungkook leaned back into him instinctively. Home, Jungkook repeated softly, it felt like he was testing the word. Taehyung pulled away quickly. Okay, tour time, come on. Taehyung whispered into Jungkook's ear and grabbed his wrist gently and pulled him forward. This is the living room. Couch is the one you liked. This is extra soft like you used to like. You can sleep here, eat here, roll around here. Taehyung teased while Jungkook chuckled. And that corner, that's where your plants will go. Make sure to take care of your babies. Taehyung continued, walking him over. It's true the plants Jungkook used to decorate Taehyung are the ones who take care of them. I water them sometimes. It's not like I just forget them every time. Jungkook protested weakly. He doesn't have enough proof to say out loud. But did Taehyung mind? Hell no, Taehyung just smiled. The kitchen came next. All cabinets are lower, so you don't have to climb like a cat anymore for snacks. Taehyung said casually. Jungkook froze for a second, then looked at him. You noticed that also? Jungkook asked with a gasp. Taehyung shrugged as if it's not embarrassing for Jungkook. I notice everything about you. Taehyung said while shaking his head. If only Jungkook could tear open the skin and flesh, then he can see how Taehyung is cooing over Jungkook's antics. Jungkook looked away quickly, blinking his eyes continuously. His cheeks are crimson by now. Taehyung chuckled and held his hand. They headed to the bedroom and the door was already opened. The room has Jungkook's favorite soft colors. Curtains he once pointed at in a random store when they were buying gifts for Jeon. The bed was positioned exactly how Jungkook liked it, close to the window, giving the vast view of trees and open sky. One thing he loves about the house Taehyung built. Far away from everyone. Far away from the bustling city. Jungkook didn't ask anything and walked in slowly, his fingers brushing over the bedsheet. You did all this? Jungkook asked quietly. He is getting emotional for nothing. It's not like he never gets what he likes. But the feeling of your favorite person prioritizing your presence above all is always a special feeling. Jungkook is getting emotional for that only. For you, Taehyung replied while admiring his dramatic husband. Jungkook sat on the bed. He smiled looking at Taehyung. That same careful smile. I like it, I really like it. Jungkook said with his bunny smile just to assure Taehyung. Taehyung knelt in front of him suddenly, hands gripping Jungkook's knees softly. Hey, you don't have to pretend. Taehyung whispered, knowing Jungkook isn't really happy to be living all alone here. Jungkook's smile wavered at that. How come this man knows everything about him? Knows every expression. I'm not pretending, hubby. Jungkook said quickly, almost too quickly. I'm happy. Look at me. He widened his smile more. See, I am smiling. Taehyung's heart cracked silently. He pulled Jungkook into his chest, holding him tight, one hand cradling the back of his head. Finally his heart was beating for someone. You're allowed to miss them. You're allowed to feel sad for them. Taehyung said quietly. Jungkook's fingers clutched Taehyung's shirt tightly. I just don't want you to feel worse. You're already hurting, Jungkook whispered. Taehyung closed his eyes. My pain doesn't matter if you're breaking, Taehyung said honestly. Jungkook shook his head, burying his face deeper. Why did you never ask me anything? Jungkook looked at Taehyung and played dumb. He also wants to know about the past, which makes his husband this much emotionally unavailable. But he has a feeling that if he listens then he wouldn't be able to handle himself. What are you asking, hubby? If it's about things you brought before I can say anything. And if it is about something you never said then it's better to give time. Jungkook said while cupping Taehyung's cheeks with both of his hands. I want to say something. Would you listen? Taehyung asked with a choked voice. The raw emotion is the only thing Jungkook never imagined. Taehyung's vulnerability killed his heart slowly. Almost poisonously. Hubby, say whatever you want to say. Jungkook said, pecking his husband's forehead. Taehyung held Jungkook's hand, brought it up on his lips and kissed it gently. Once was a girl filled with ambitions and dreams. She wanted nothing but recognition for her talent. Be the supermodel everyone admires dearly. Be the singer of everyone's love. Taehyung said with a chuckle, while Jungkook is looking at him with teary eyes. That girl was beautiful, so beautiful that anyone would lose their heart to her. One day when she was harassed by someone in a bar, a man protected her. Although she knows the man was married, she still clings to him. The man's fidelity was too corrupt to be a human. They both get entangled shamelessly. The man spent fortune over her. But as the time passed she forgot her passion. Her only mission is to become the man's legal wife. She even had a child just to pressure him. But for him his reputation, his social value was more important. He gives everything to them, just not name. Once she gets a chance of being the singer she always wanted to, but at that time she only wants one thing. Be the president's wife. Or of course the country's president's wife means a status of higher people. She declined, and after that she used her child as a tool for calling him. He would occasionally visit, but if the child couldn't bring him or keep him for a longer time then she would beat him. He was unwanted to her. A disgrace which ruined her youth. A mark in her life like the stigma of the moon. That child was her cage. Taehyung feels the sudden tightness over his hand. Jungkook's body is trembling by now. He can guess who the mother is. Who is the child? That child was me. Jungkook closed his eyes. He didn't cry. Surprisingly he is quiet and calm. He just keeps listening to his husband with quietness like a mature man. Flashback. 14 years old Taehyung was sitting in the class quietly. He was minding his own business when a group walked over. Still pretending you belong here? A boy scoffed looking at Taehyung, kicking the leg of Taehyung's chair lightly. Taehyung's fingers tightened around his pen. Someone laughed from behind. My dad said your mom is just a kept woman. A girl whispered loudly from behind. She doesn't even get his last name. How embarrassing. Another voice chimed in, cruelly curious about their life. If Mr. Kim is really your father, why doesn't he ever come to school events? My father comes every time. Another asked with a fake sweet voice. All eyes turned to Taehyung. He kept staring at his notebook. This isn't new. He listens to them every day. People killed him with their words. Is it his fault that a married man didn't keep his promise to his wife? Is it his fault that a woman couldn't control her greed? I heard. A boy leaned closer, lowering his voice like he was sharing a secret. You're not allowed to call him father. Is that true? Taehyung swallowed hard. This isn't true. His father loves him. He loves him a lot. He just can't give his time. He is a good boy. He didn't even say to others that he is the president's son. But he couldn't say the answer. His throat burned. I heard you're just his mistake. Someone laughed. A mistake he forgot to erase. Another chimed in as if this isn't crushing someone's pure heart. No one will say anything to my tiger. And asked your father, is he really your father? Bogum, the only one who stayed with Taehyung, said while holding his hand gently. Didn't I tell you not to talk with me? And stop calling me your friend? Taehyung said, looking away from Bogum. But Bogum held his hand more tightly. No one will be my friend here. I am an orphan. Did you forget? I am here BCZ of a scholarship. Don't you know? And we have been together for years. Obviously we are friends. Bogum said while smiling widely. The teacher walked in, then the class quieted down. The cruelty just paused for some time. Taehyung breathed again. When the bell rang for lunch, he packed his bag slowly. Just because he doesn't want to interact with someone. Once hands shoved him from behind. Move, illegitimate. The word stuck to his skin. He wanted to scream and say his father's name. But his father said not to tell anyone. And Taehyung is doing exactly what they said. Because good boys always listen to others so they can make everyone happy. He is devastated by everything. Whom he will say. His mother will beat him to death for being this fragile. For being born into this world. One thing 5 years old Taehyung knows, he hate his birth, the same thing 15 years old Taehyung knows. Once he is hallway all alone, someone pinned him on the locker, shoving his face against the metal hardly. He heard loud laughing sounds from those who surrounded his fragile body. Leave me please. I didn't do anything. Taehyung pleaded with sobs. He is tired of everything. You dare to sing in the competition. Impressive, isn't it? Okay, just guess what, you will be a famous singer. How will everyone react? That singer Kim Taehyung doesn't have any father. His mother loves to fly around, and Tilda, before the senior can say more, Taehyung pushed him hard. He couldn't cry out loud nor able to fight with those boys. So he ran away like a coward. When he returned home he saw the car which belonged to his father. With a wide smile he ran inside and spotted his father talking with his mother while both wrapping around each other's embrace. He knows if he says something or tries to grab his attention, then tonight will be hell for him. He tried to take slow steps and leave from there, but Mr. Kim called him. Taehyung gulped hard and turned around. He didn't come to Mr. Kim, just smiled politely. Come here, Mr. Kim called with a wide smile. Taehyung couldn't say anything, he just went there and sat on the other side. I heard you are going to perform tomorrow's competition. Sing well, my son. Taehyung smiled widely and nodded his head. He will tell everyone that he has a father. Taehyung sat there, his hands folded on his lap like a well-trained child he is. His heart was beating too loud for such a small room. He gathered all the courage he had and whispered, Appa, you know I'm singing tomorrow. Taehyung's voice trembled despite his effort. There will be judges, teachers, parents, and an audience. Will you come to watch my performance? Mr. Kim looked at him, his brows lifted slightly. Taehyung took that as permission. The room went silent for a second too long. His mother stiffened beside Mr. Kim. Taehyung noticed that. He always noticed everything. After all, that's how he survived. Mr. Kim cleared his throat and smiled. Of course, my baby. Why wouldn't I? You're my son, Mr. Kim said lightly. One word, son, and that word lit something inside Taehyung that had been dead for years. I'll sit in the back. No need to tell anyone. Just sing well, Mr. Kim added instantly. Taehyung nodded again and again, afraid if he spoke he'd cry. He bowed slightly before leaving. That night, Taehyung didn't sleep. He practiced softly. He imagined a face in the crowd. One face. Just one person watching him and saying, that's my child. The next day, the auditorium buzzed with noise. Parents sat with cameras. Teachers whispered about arrangements. Students giggled and chattered nervously. Taehyung stood backstage, his fingers cold around the microphone. He peeked through the curtain. The front row was filled with teachers. Middle row filled with students. The back row is all empty seats. He searched again and again. He'll be late, Taehyung told himself. He's busy. Important people are always late. When his name was called, he walked onto the stage with a broken heart. That night he sang not just with his deep voice but with a broken heart. He sang like he was begging the world to listen. Like if he sang well enough, someone would stay with him. But the seat at the back stayed empty. Even after the awards were announced. Even after the hall emptied. Even when the sun dipped low and the janitor started cleaning. Taehyung waited for someone. Someone who promised. Guess what promises are meant to be broken? At nightfall, he walked home all alone. Praising the certificate folded carefully in his bag like a secret. The house lights were on. He stepped inside quietly and saw his mother watching TV. He glanced at the TV and froze on the spot. The sound of the laughing echoed from the television. Mr. Kim stood near the bar. He is dressed in casual elegance clothes with golf gloves still in hand. Beside him was Seokjin, the person Taehyung saw many times. He is the only son of the president. He doesn't even envy Seokjin. Seokjin doesn't know he has a younger brother, but Taehyung knows he has an older brother. He is just unlucky not to have a parent like others. Maybe he doesn't deserve good parents. Good game today. Next time I'll win, Seokjin said, pouring himself a glass of juice. Mr. Kim laughed loudly. You're getting better, son. Mr. Kim said, patting Seokjin's back. Son, is the same word that the same person said last night. Taehyung stood there with his bag strap cutting into his shoulder. Oh, you're back, Mr. Kim said while coming out from their bedroom. Seems like he didn't go to his house today. Taehyung opened his mouth but didn't say anything. The certificate crinkled in his bag. He wanted to show it proudly but no words came out. He bowed his head slightly and turned around. He walked to his room with teary eyes. That night, Taehyung learned something permanent. Promises are only for children who matter. The next morning he woke up late. He hates Sunday. Sunday means staying in this hell. But where he will find peace. There is nowhere someone can get peace. He came downstairs and found out his parents were busy eating food. He glanced over the table and took 2 pieces of bread and a banana. He left without saying anything. Mr. Kim looks at him as somehow guilty for breaking the promise. But it's just a promise. He can make amends later. Days keep going like that. One thing has changed now, Taehyung doesn't cry much. Taehyung doesn't talk much. He is mostly quiet. Nowadays no one bullies him much. Only some verbal bullying, not physically like before. On his 15th birthday he ate the cake which was brought by Mr. Kim. Nowadays Mr. Kim tries harder to be free and give time to Taehyung. Taehyung's silence, the way Taehyung doesn't talk with him after that night is kind of eating him alive. He brought the cake and told Taehyung to wait. Taehyung didn't wait, instead he ate the cake and left from there to the place where no one judged him. His tree. Taehyung sat with his back against the rough bark, knees pulled to his chest. He celebrated his birthday. No wish made. No candles blown. Just another year of surviving. He looked up through the leaves. This place never asked him who his father was. Never cared where he came from. Under this tree, he was just Taehyung. Nothing more, nothing less. He heard footsteps approaching him. And that scared him. He stiffened immediately. Maybe it's his mother. She will threaten him for something. Or maybe scold him for eating the cake. But what should he do? He was too hungry, and anyway no one would cut the cake for him. Relax, baby bear, it's just me. A familiar voice makes him indeed relax. Taehyung turned his head slowly. Namjoon stood there, his hair slightly messy like he'd run his hands through it too many times. Beside him was Mr. Kim, Namjoon's father, his hands clasped behind his back, expression unreadable as always. Namjoon smiled widely at him. He always did. BCZ Taehyung is indeed his younger brother. There you are. Appa was tense that you disappeared. Namjoon said softly. Taehyung didn't stand immediately. He didn't bow at them formally. He just nodded once. BCZ they never mind. Happy birthday, Taehyung. Mr. Kim cleared his throat. The words felt heavy. Namjoon crouched down in front of Taehyung. He held out a long, narrow, black, polished case. I heard you sing that day, I couldn't attend. Namjoon said with a guilty and low voice. Taehyung's fingers curled. Instinctively. It's okay, Hung. I know you didn't have time, otherwise you surely would have attended it, Taehyung murmured. But I did listen to it on the college video. And you're good, really good. Namjoon smiled gently and opened the case. Inside lay a custom-made guitar. The dark wood, his name THV carved subtly near the fretboard. Taehyung's breath hitched. This is yours, Appa had it made. I couldn't give you any gift. Namjoon said while ruffling Taehyung's hair. Mr. Kim also nodded once. You like music, Taehyung ah. And we love you, Mr. Kim said with a fond smile, and Taehyung feels this is genuine love. Oh, only if he knows the truth. Taehyung's eyes darted around them and then he stared at the guitar like it might disappear if he blinked. Slowly, he reached out to the guitar, his fingertips brushing the strings softly, almost devotedly. They hummed with his touch. A wide smile appeared on his face. No one had ever given him something like this. Let's go inside and cut the cake, Namjoon said and pulled Taehyung with them. Once they come inside, Mr. Kim, Namjoon's father, brings Taehyung to cut the cake. Taehyung smiled looking at the cake. Kim, Taehyung already have cake, Taehyung's father said while looking at the strawberry flavor cake. Also I don't think Taehyung would ever like this flavor. This is Taehyung's favorite flavor. Don't tell me you don't know about it. Namjoon's father smiled mockingly. Taehyung cut the cake and gave the first bite to Namjoon, who took it gladly. Taehyung didn't feed anyone, he just takes one big piece and comes to the living room. Mr. Kim, Taehyung's father, looked at his son with some guilty eyes. Namjoon, take Taehyung out with you. He deserves some good adventure. Also he doesn't go out without school, so take him somewhere. Mr. Kim, Namjoon's father, said with a smile. What are you doing, Kim? You know if Taehyung goes outside then tilde, he couldn't complete his sentence. The word buried feels inside his mouth when Mr. Kim, Namjoon's father, chuckles sarcastically. For your dirty deed you are saying that Taehyung should be hidden forever. And do you really think Hannah doesn't know anything about your little $$euro? She is not saying anything, BCZ. I am sure she is planning something big. Something worse, Mr. Kim, Namjoon's father, said while exhaling sharply. That evening Namjoon takes Taehyung out and Seokjin also comes to the park just to surprise Namjoon. Namjoon bought 3 ice creams just the moment they entered inside. He took vanilla for himself, strawberry for Taehyung, and chocolate for Seokjin, out of habits actually. Taehyung sat on the swing. The guitar case rested carefully beside him. He pushed himself lightly, toes brushing the grass beneath his feet. The smile on his face was small. He is admiring the guitar case with adoration. Hung, thank you, Taehyung said softly with a soft smile on his face. For what, baby bear? Namjoon glanced at him with tenderness. For today, Taehyung whispers softly. You don't have to thank me for something which you deserve, baby bear. Just sing beautifully and one day when you will be an idol, you will be crowded by millions of fans just saying Namjoon Hung, I love you. Namjoon said dramatically as if he was on stage. Taehyung gives a soft laugh to Namjoon while swinging. Namjoon also smiled. Namjoon. Namjoon's eyes widened hearing his moon's voice. He turned around and froze on the spot. Seokjin, my moon, Namjoon said with sparkling eyes. Seokjin stood a few steps away. His hands in his pockets, hair slightly messy as he rushed here after practice. He smiled automatically. You didn't tell me you were coming here. Seokjin said lightly. I didn't know you'd come to meet me. You said you had lessons. Namjoon replied with a sullen face. I finished early today. Then I thought to come here and relax, but you are here. Seokjin said while hugging Namjoon. His gaze shifted, finally landing on Taehyung. Taehyung also looked at him. Their eyes met. Taehyung froze looking at Seokjin. He stood up immediately and bowed politely. Hung. Taehyung smiled nervously. Seokjin blinked once. He couldn't believe what he saw. He heard rumors about his father. Heard some reporter saying there is someone named Taehyung who is his father's illegitimate son. So this is him. It's not a rumor. That is the truth. It's hard to believe, but Taehyung is living proof of betrayal. So, this is him. Seokjin asked Namjoon. Eyes didn't leave Taehyung. Taehyung's fingers curled into the hem of his shirt. Jin tilde. Namjoon opened his mouth. I've heard about you. Not from my appa, but from articles that never got published. From things people say behind my back, when they think I'm not listening. Seokjin chuckled with teary eyes. Taehyung swallowed hard while looking at Seokjin. Hung. I tilde. Before Taehyung could say something, Seokjin raised a hand just to stop him. I'm not angry at you, Seokjin said, and for a second Taehyung's chest loosened. He smiled softly, but before anything could be settled in, Seokjin exhaled sharply. But you know what, you exist. The words landed heavier than a slap. Those words were cruel. Those were sharper than swords. How easily someone can point their fingers at his existence. He wasn't at fault. Fault was his parents, then why should he feel shame over his birth? You are the living proof of his betrayal. Every time I look at you, I will remember that my father chose someone else. Somewhere else he has a family. He had a different life with someone. Seokjin said sharply. He finally let the tears spill. They slid down silently. Namjoon's heart dropped from the situation. Jin, stop tilde. Before Namjoon can stop Seokjin, he starts talking. I know it's not your fault. I know you didn't ask to be born. But do you know how cruel it is? Seokjin whispered with a cracked voice. His chest rose sharply. To grow up believing your family is whole only to find out there's a crack that's been there all along. Do you know how I used to laugh when I used to watch those reports? How much I hated the fact that my father is one of the men I hate. Seokjin cried, feeling like his whole world collapsed. Taehyung's vision blurred with his own tears. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to exist in your life like this. Taehyung said, bowing deeply. As if he is embarrassed of his existence. That was when Seokjin broke. A sob tore out of him. He turned his face away from Taehyung, and pressed his palm against his mouth. I hate that sentence. I hate that you have to say that. Seokjin choked out to his breath. He hates everything, and certainly he knows how painful Taehyung's life is. Namjoon moved instantly towards his moon. He pulled Seokjin into his arms. Seokjin clutched his shirt, crying into his shoulder like the world had finally caught up to him. I should go, Taehyung said softly after a long moment. His voice was steady, too steady for a 15-year-old. Namjoon pulled back from the hug sharply. Tae tilde. Namjoon called out, but Taehyung picked up the guitar case carefully, like it was made of glass. Before leaving the place, he looked at Seokjin once more. I hope one day you won't hate seeing me. But until then, I'll stay where I belong. Taehyung said with a small, polite smile and then started walking away. Words keep playing in his mind like a recorder. You're my son. You are the living proof of his betrayal. You're my son. You are the living proof of his betrayal. You're my son. You are the living proof of his betrayal. You're my son. You are the living proof of his betrayal. Taehyung walked inside the house, which is actually a hellhound for him. That night was hell for him. He is feeling guilty for something which he didn't have any say in. He is crying over something which isn't his fault. On the other hand, with Seokjin. Seokjin walked to the president's house and witnessed his mother sitting on the couch. She is talking and smiling with one of the maids. Seokjin sat beside her with a thud. Eoma, what if you know there is something hidden? Mrs. Kim looks at him with worried eyes and caresses his hair lovingly. What are you talking about? Mrs. Kim asked with a smile which hurt Seokjin the most. He chuckled with teary eyes. The sarcastic smile was for his foolishness. Eoma, what if Appa isn't the man we think he is? Seokjin whispered, his voice cracking. Mrs. Kim left a tired sigh. My child, there are many things hidden in this house. Not all of them are meant to be uncovered loudly. Mrs. Kim said softly, turning her body fully toward him. Seokjin's lips trembled while talking. You know about all this, don't you? Seokjin left a sob while speaking. She smiled softly, but this time it wasn't the practiced smile she showed to the world. It was real, almost apologetic. I have known for a long time that your father doesn't love me. This marriage, well baby, it was never about love. It was a contract, 2 families, 2 reputations and 1 picture-perfect lie. Mrs. Kim said calmly. She is so calm that feel like she is speaking about the weather. Seokjin felt something gripping his chest. He knows totally different things. His father is busy. His mother is busy and they both don't get time. Only this. Simple and easy. We stay together because no one wants this separation. Your father likes the picture-perfect lie, I like the business I am handling. To be honest, there is nothing disappointing for me, she said with a steady voice. Then did you know about her? Seokjin clenched his fists while asking this question. Mrs. Kim's gaze lowered due to shame. The thing she accepted without any words seems like a confession of crime in front of his son. Well, she did a crime. Being quiet to injustice is the worst crime in mankind. I suspected, a woman doesn't need proof when her husband's heart is elsewhere. I felt the distance long before I saw it. She admitted with shame, she couldn't look at her son. Gosh, how pitiful she is not to stand up for herself when she is considered as one of the role models. As for a child, I never confirmed it. But I knew something existed outside this house. Something he protected fiercely. Something he keeps hidden from everyone so the cruelty can't touch him. Her voice have a crack in the irony as she doesn't know if it's for the injustice she felt with Mr. Kim's action or her silence. I saw him today. Seokjin's breath shook when he recalled the face. Taehyung's eyes are exactly like his father's. Looking at Taehyung, anyone can say they are somehow connected with each other. And this thing hurt Seokjin. His father's betrayal hurts more than anything. That man portrayed everything so perfectly that anyone would hardly know about his dirty deed. He hates that his father is the monster who ruined lives. He hates that he hurted Taehyung an hour ago when he doesn't have any fault. Who? Mrs. Kim stiffened slightly knowing the answer. The child, Taehyung. Seokjin whispered the name and it fell between them like glass shattering. So it's true, he really did bring another life into this world, she murmured with an emotion-deprived tone. He looks just like Appa. Anyone can tell. And I said something horrible to him, Ioma. I hurt him. Seokjin laughed bitterly through tears. Mrs. Kim pulled him into her arms without hesitation. Seokjin collapsed against her, his shoulders shaking violently now. You're allowed to hurt, but remember that his existence is your father's sin, not his. Mrs. Kim whispered softly, kissing his hair. Seokjin cried harder. Then why does it feel like he stole something from me? Seokjin complained while hiccuping. The feeling is unnameable now. Because betrayal doesn't only break marriages. It breaks children too, Mrs. Kim said gently. She pulled back slightly and cupped Seokjin's face. But listen to me, Jin. That boy has suffered longer than you have. He is in silence, without a proper name. Ioma, Seokjin whispers while looking at her with disappointment. I am not angry at him. I am angry at the man who failed both of you. Mrs. Kim,